This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning. In today's session, we're going to discuss about the Snowflake task. Under the Snowflake task, we're going to discuss about the one of the future, how to manage the task dependencies with task graph. Everyone aware of task, Snowflake task. We can able to schedule the queries. We can able to schedule your procs as well as you can schedule your Snowflake scripting as well. In today's session, we're going to focus only on the task graph. Task graph, nothing but you have one root task. Under the root task, we have various child tasks. Okay, if you trigger the root task, the subsequent child task will be triggered. Okay, now you might have a question, how many child tasks we can have? Okay, like if we have one root task, under the root task we can have around 4,000 child tasks you can able to create. You can able to create, and then it will run the sequential fashion. Okay, now you might have a question like, what's the meaning of task graph? If we have root task, under the root task we have various child task, right? That is why it's called, we're saying it's a task graph. Task graph we can say, or we can say it's a DAG. DAG means directed acyclic graph. A series of tasks you will be composed in a ETL. Okay, you will extract, you'll process, and then you'll store the results in dimension table. Like this kind of serious task, what will happen, right? You should have one root task. Another root task we have various number child task. It's organized by the dependencies. If one child task completed, then only next child task will trigger. If second child task is triggered, a third child task has to wait until the second task has to complete. Okay, if second task is completed, third task will trigger. Like this, every task is managed by their dependencies, or we can say dependency. Each task will have a precedence. Precedence means their root task. Okay, if the root task completed, then only child task one will trigger. Child task one is completed, child task two will trigger. Like this, it will go in a sequential fashion. Okay, and then if you talk about task flow graph, right, it will run in a single direction. It will be a unidirectional. Okay, like one task is triggered means then another task will trigger. Sorry, one task triggered means after completion next task will trigger. This is how it will follow the unidirectional pattern. It's a single direction. And then each task is depend on the other task, and it won't run the procedure as completed. It can be a procedure child task or it can be a procedure root task. If a procedure complete task, then only child task will trigger. Okay, and then each task can have multiple child tasks as well. Each task can have multiple child tasks as well, and then you can have multiple child task dependence as well. If multiple child tasks complete the work, then only the next child task will trigger. Okay, now we're going to see how to create a task graph. To create a task graph, what you have to do, right, you have to create one parent task. Parent means root task you have to create. After creating root task, you can create n number of child tasks using one command called what command? After command. You can use what command?
After command.
After command. After command means after the root task, this child task should trigger. If you're using after command means after this root task, this has to trigger. After this child task, this another child task should trigger. Every task should have a dependency. Okay, and then now what I am doing is to create a task graph for a root task, or we can say the parent task, we have to define a schedule. It can be a cron pattern, or it can be schedule you can schedule 5 minutes or 10 minutes. For every root task we have to use a schedule, and then you have to trigger only the root task. No need to trigger the child task. If you trigger the root task, right, what happens after every 5 minutes, my root task will trigger. Once root task triggered, after that root task completion, every child task will be triggering. The child task will wait for the status of the root task. If the root task is completed, then child task 1 will trigger, and then child 2 will hold for a minute until child 1 task is completed. Child 1 is completed, child 2 task will trigger, and then will do some kind of actions. Okay. Now you have to keep in mind, whenever creating some child task, right, you have to use which command? Which command?
After command.
After command. Add after command you have to use. Okay, already I did these things to create some child task. Now we have some considerations. Maximum of 1,000 tasks you can be able to create. Okay, I mistaken say 4,000, right? No, we can able to create only 1,000 tasks. And then a single task can have a maximum 100 parent tasks and 100 child tasks. Okay, what they're saying is a single task, if you take any task, right, it can have maximum 100 parent tasks and 100 child tasks. Satish is saying is you have ABCD. Take one task. This B task can have 100 parent. B task can have 100 child as well. That's what I'm saying. Single task can have maximum how many parents?
100 parents.
And then how many children you should have?
100 child.
100 childs. You should keep in mind maximum how many things you can be able to create in a single
1,000.
instance. In a single instance means single mission. You can able to 1,000 tasks. And then third one, very important point, guys. It's a consideration. If you want to run a task graph, the task graph can be any number of child tasks can we have. If you want to run a task graph, you want to run in a concurrent way. Concurrent way means parallel runs. Okay, if you want to run a parallel way, what we have to do, right, you have to choose a proper compute resources. Compute resources means you should have choose a proper warehouse. If you are using user manage, you have to define a warehouse. If it is serverless, everything taken care by
Snowflake.
Snowflake. Snowflake. Okay. Now they are giving some simple term for you. Now A, B, C, D. Now A is which one is root task here? Which one is the root task here? A is the root task. B and C are the childs, and then D is the child. It's for D, who is the procedure? For D, who is the procedure?
B and C.
B and C.
B and C. For B, A is the procedure. For C, A is the procedure. Procedure means like parent. Okay, we can say like this. For D, who is the grandparent?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like these are procedures. Okay. Now what happens, right? If the root task prompts task B and C to trigger simultaneously, if task A is completed, B and C will trigger simultaneously. We can say it's a concurrent way. Concurrent way means parallel way. We can able to B and C trigger. Okay. What D will happens, right? D will hold for a couple of seconds until successful completion of B and C. If B and C successfully completed, D will trigger. This is how the task graph will work. We can say it's a task graph, or we can say it's a DAG. What is DAG stands for?
Direct acyclic.
Direct acyclic graph will run in the unidirectional flow. Unidirectional flow means same direction. Can you able to see any reverse direction here?
Yes, sir.
Can you able to see any bidirectional here? Bidirectional. Bidirectional means forward and reverse. It's only unidirectional, only forward direction. That's why it's called direct acyclic graph. Now we'll see one more pictorial view here. Now we have the root task, and then we have three tables: customer table, product table, date and time table. Okay, what happens, right? If the root task is completed, this customer table, product table, date and time table will be triggered. This task child task will get triggered, and then you will update some informations. You will update some customer informations. You will update product informations. You will update date and time informations here. After this child task completed, what happens, right? this aggregate sales table will be task will be triggered, and then it will update the it not will update, it will do some aggregation in the table and store the results in the downstream table. This is how it works. Task graph will work like in this way. We're going to see one by one. Now, whichever you are seeing blue color, right? All are dimension tables. Whichever seeing red color, right? All are fact tables. Fact tables contains only measurements. Fact tables contain only Sendamal. Fact tables contain
Measurements.
only measurements. Measurements, for example, Sendamal is owning one bookstore. He is opening the shop in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and then in various places he's opening the bookstore shop. What happens, right? You want to find the last 5 days sales. How much happened in Chennai? How much happened in Delhi, NCR? This much information that you want to require. From fact tables, you will get all those informations because fact tables contain only measurements. Okay, what we will do, right? We will take all the information from the dimension tables. We will do from the dimension tables. We'll perform the aggregation and finally stored in the fact tables. FACT. Okay, it's a fact tables. Fact tables contain only measurements. Okay, good. Now we're going to see another pictorial view. For example, if you want to send some notification. For example, if the price is very high or somewhat, I'm getting some threshold value, price threshold value somewhat less than 500 rupees. If I want to send some notifications through SNS, or if any error occurred in the table while loading to the fact tables, all kind of error notifications, what we can do is we can use some external functions. With the help of task graph, with the help of task graph, we can call external function to prompt a remote messaging service send notification that all previous tasks has run successfully to completion. What they're saying is, if you are getting any error or any successful completion of task, because I have three child tasks, the three child tasks successfully completed. If I want to send some notification through mail or SMS or through API gateway, if I want to send any messages, I can use some external function with the help of task graph, and then I can able to send some emails regarding the task status. It's passed, succeeded, or failed. The previous task succeeded means I'll send some mails. The previous task got succeeded. Now I am triggering the fact table task. Like this, you can say some informations with the help of external functions. Now, tomorrow going to see all these things. How to send some notification by SNS. SNS stands for
Simple notification services.
simple notification services. It's a AWS service. Okay. Now we're going to discuss about manage task graph ownerships. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the two important points. Whenever creating some root task, right? You should have the ownership. You should have the ownership. Okay. uh, those who have the ownership, they only can able to drop the task means drop the task graph available in the drop the all the task in the task graph, and then the owner be able to grant the ownership on all tasking schema. Okay, ownership is nothing but like a role I'm saying. Okay, ownership means account admin role. As of now I'm using account admin role. You can create your own role. Okay, and then you can give some privileges to that role, and then that role could be the owner of the task is available in the task graph. Okay, you can able to drop all the tasks, you can able to resume it, you can able to drop it, everything you have, you should have the ownership. As of now, what role I'm using now? What role I'm using now? Role.
Account account admin. Account admin, sir.
Account admin role I'm using. I'm the one account admin having the entire privileges. Okay, if you want to create your own role, right, you can use this statement, guys. How to create a role? How to create a role?
Create
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 role.
role.
role name, that's it. and then you have to grant ownership. Okay, grant ownership. We have some commands. I'll talk about later. Grant ownership to role. Which role you are creating, right? That role you have to provide. I'm going to give my role, like Suji role. Suji underscore role. This is my role. I'm giving some ownership to this role. Okay, like this, you can give ownership, and then you can create some task. It is under the task graph, and you can drop the role, everything you can do, and then you can give some ownership to the various roles as well. That's what they're discussing. Okay. Okay. Now, how to run a task in the task graph? In the task graph, you have a number of tasks, right? How to run the task in the task graph? First, I'm going to create a root task, and then I'm going to create a number of child tasks. It's all depend on the precedence. Okay, but in each child task, what command you have to use?
After command.
After command you have to use, because we have to set some dependency. After this root task, I have to trigger this one. After this child task, I have to trigger this child task. Like this, you can give some dependency. Okay, now what you can do is this one is how to run a task in the task graph. The first point I want to talk about the task scheduling. You can use a cron or interval based. You can use cron pattern, means you can have 5 asterisks. You can schedule some time, and then particular time the root task will trigger. And then what you have to do, right? If you want to alter your task, alter task, where you have to use the sense, whenever you are creating a root task, it will go to the suspend state. It will go to the which state? Suspend state.
Suspend.
Suspend state. What you have to do? Alter task name, you have to make it resume. Once you resume, right, it will go to suspend state to active state. Active state means start state. That's what the thing is. You have to use alter command. The next command, last one, is execute task. Execute task. If you want to check whether it's working or not, whether root task is working or not, it's a one-time run activity. If you want to check whether it's working or not, it's a one-time activity, one-time run activity for a task graph. What you can do? Execute task. You have to provide the
Task name.
task name. That's it. It's a one-time activity. What happens, right? We will run only one time. Suddenly we'll go to suspend state. Or if I'm saying to you, if you use execute task name, it's only for testing purpose. It will run only one time. If you are, you can run it manually. Execute task name. If you run right, what will happen? It will move from suspend state to active state. After executing, what will happen? It will come to active to
Suspend state.
suspend state. If you give alter task name resume, right, what happens? It will come from suspend state to
Active.
active state. Active state, resume state. Okay, it come to the active state, and then it will be alive up to the active state. But if you give the execute task name, what will happen? It's a one-time activity. It's a manual activity. What activity it is? It's a manual activity. Only will run only one time. After that, will come to the suspend state again. Three difference. If you want to run manually, which command you have to choose?
Execute.
Execute. Only
Task.
execute.
Execute task name.
That's it. Okay. If you want to make it alive, okay, you want permanently should be like active state. Which command you'll use?
Alter task. Alter task name resume.
That's it. That's good. Now, now they're talking about the this one, manually running task in a task graph. This one is very easy, guys. Already I discussed about execute task name you have to provide. It's going to manually trigger a single run of task independent of schedule defined for the task. It's a manual trigger. Okay, it's going to run a single run for the schedule defined for the task. Okay, what happens, right? If you are triggering your root task, what happens once a root task is successful? It's going to trigger a cascading number of child tasks. Cascading means if after the root task completed, if you have various childs, right, it's going to run in a concurrent way. Concurrent way it's going to trigger. If you design like that, it's going to going to trigger in a concurrent way. That's what it's saying here is it's going to cascading number of child tasks in the task graph and the preceding task completed. If the preceding means if the root task completed, all the child tasks will trigger and then had another defined schedule. Guys, clear, right? It's one of the manually running tasks. We have to use this command. Okay, once you run this command, we are going to run only single run. Okay, what happens, right? Once procedure is successful, then cascade number of child tasks going to run in the task graph. Okay, now I want to discuss one of the important command. Execute task name retrieve last. This one I have not discussed, guys, with you. I want to discuss now. Okay, this is also a manual running task to rerun any child task in the task graph. Sendamal, I'm saying to you, if you give retrieve last, right, the last runs, if any failure happens, right, from that failure will run. That's called retrieve last. Now, my task graph running 20 times. 20 times. 21st time, I'm executing this manual command. Execute task name retrieve last. Now, which run will trigger?
20, sir.
20 will rerun. Okay, will rerun if any failures happen. From the fails, it will run. It attempt to run the task graph from the last failed task. From the
Last
Last
failed task.
Last
failed
failed
test.
test.
failed task. Okay, and then if that second point you have to keep in mind, if the task succeeded, all child tasks will continue to run as a preceded task completed. Okay, what the saying is, yeah, if the task completes succeeds, all the child tasks will continue as the precedent task completes. Okay, what the saying is, once child task completed, for a child, another child task will be there. Okay, it will try to run the remaining things as well. Okay, now 1 minute, guys.
This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, yeah, we'll discuss on this part. You guys are thinking why we want to run manually, we have to run the task. Why can't we schedule these things? Because this future they given for us, before making it productionized, okay, we want to check whether the task graph is working or not. For that the reason they're using this command execute task and task name. If you provide, what happens, right, will run only single run per instance. Okay, and then what I'm mentioning here is if you are doing some testing or any modified task graph changes you have done, you have before you enabling, right, before you enabling it, alter task resume. Before resuming it, just you want to check whether the task graph is working or not, or what are the modified changes you are working or not. And then before making productionized, you can able to check using execute task, um, execute task name. It's a manually you have to run your task. Now this is one of the important concept they will ask in the interviews. If overlapping task graph runs, what we'll do? Or if this is one of the important concept I'm going to discuss now. Overlapping task graph runs. Now what will happen, right? I'll give the show the pictorial view to you guys, and then you can able to understand. Now I'm going to run. We have T1, T2, T3, and then the same task graph I'm going to run second time. Run 2. Now what happens, right? T1 is the procedure root task. T2 and T3 are the child task. T2 depends on T1. T3 depends on T2. Now, if you are using user managed warehouse, user managed means you have to define your own warehouse as per the ETL workloads. You have to define a warehouse. If you are using user managed warehouse, what will happen, right? Initially, it will get queued. Though even though you schedule like 1 minute, okay, what happens? It will go to the queue state, then it will trigger. That's why you can see everywhere it's going to queue state, then it will trigger. The task will trigger. Now what happens, right? If you are running this task graph, T1 you will be using the schedule, cron tab schedule you use. Once T1 is completed, now T2 is triggering. You can see, right? Once T1 is completed, task 2 is triggered, and then task 2 is completed, task 3 is triggered. Task 3 is triggered. Now what happens if you are running second time, right? If you're running same task second time, this run one should get completed. This run one should get completed, then only run two will trigger by default. Or if I'm keep on saying these words again, we have three tasks. If task one is completed, task two will trigger. Task two is completed, task three will trigger. I'm going to run the same task graph one more time. If you're running one more time, what will happen, right? If all this run one is completed, then only run two will trigger by default. But if you want, if you need the overlapping feature, if you need the overlapping feature, you have to use one attribute called allow overlapping. Allow overlapping.
Execution.
Execution should be true. Default value is false. You can see here default value is false. But if you are enabling allow overlapping execution, what will happen, right? Now I'll look into the diagram. Now I am running this three tasks. Once T1 is completed, T2 will trigger, and then T2 completed, T3 will trigger. If I am running the same task for a second time, what happens? You can see overlapping is occurring, right? Before task 3 is completed, again my root task got triggered. You see the diagram, right? Whichever seeing in the red color, right? That's nothing but a overlap. Because what I am doing, right? I want to show on. I given the schedule as 2 minutes. Schedule as how many minutes? Sendamal. How many minutes? 2 minutes for root task. Under the root task, how many tasks you have? Root task name is T1. T1.
T1, T2.
T2, T3. Who will say T3? Okay. Now T1 will take, just assume that T1 will take like 30 seconds. And T2, you're doing some writing some procs. Okay. For T2, you're writing some procs. You're taking nearly like 1 minute or 20 seconds. Or we'll make it 30. Now T3 taking another 30 seconds. Now total time, how much time is taking? Total time
2 minutes 30 seconds.
2 minutes 30 seconds. Now what happens, right? You have scheduled 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes you want to trigger your root task. If root task completed, T2 is trigger. T3 should trigger. Every 2 minutes. On and every 2 minutes you have to trigger. But what happened, right? For total completion, how much time is taking? Total completion.
2 minutes 30 seconds.
2 minutes.
2 minutes 30 seconds. 2 minutes 30 seconds. Before 2 minutes 30 seconds, what happens? Run 2 will trigger. Run 2 means again same task graph T will trigger. Because we are giving schedule 22 minutes, right? But the entire process is taking nearly 2 minutes 30 seconds. What happened? The 30 seconds overlap will happen. Overlap will happen. By default, overlapping will not happen. Okay. But if you enable this property, which property?
Overlapping.
Execute.
Allow overlapping execution.
Allow overlapping execution. Okay. Allow overlapping execution. If you make it true, what happens, right? While creating task, what you have to do, you have to define this parameter. Okay. If you do the parameter, what happens? If you look at this diagram, you can see before run one completion, run two T1 got triggered. Got it? Triggered. And then you can see after T2 got triggered, this is a overlapping feature. By default, this overlapping feature will work or not? By default.
Oh, sir.
No. By default, the overlapping feature will not occur. Now I will discuss about theory part. Okay. I already said to you, it will take only one instance for a particular task graph. Only one instance means only one machine can run only one particular task graph. The task graph can have n number of child tasks. Okay, is allowed to run at time. What happens, right? Mostly for root task, you will use schedule parameter. Okay, once the root task is triggered, the remaining subsequent child task will get triggered, will get completed. What happens, guys? Once the child task everything completed, then only the same run will happen. Okay, after successful completion of all child tasks. Now what happens? Uh, if you are giving schedule as 2 minutes, but the time is taking nearly 2 minutes, 30 seconds, or 3 minutes, what happens? Like overlap feature will not. If you're not enabling overlap feature, what happens? That particular task graph run will be skipped. Now I'm scheduling for 2 minutes. Now how much time is taking? 2 minutes 30 seconds. Now run to schedule will be what happened? Will be
Skip this.
skipped, and then run 3 will have some time, right? Run 3 will have some time, again it will trigger, and then run 4, what will happen?
Skip this.
Skipped. Run 5,
Trigger.
Well,
run
trigger, sir.
6, run 6,
Skipped.
Skip this.
skipped. You understand the concept, right? Because while running run 1, right, what will happen? Taking nearly 2 minutes 30 seconds, but the run 2 should start every 2 minutes, but it's crossing the time interval. That's why run 2 got skipped. Now run 3 will have a buffer, right? Now run 3 will trigger, and now run 3 will take how much time? 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Run 4 should start every 2 minutes. Okay, now run 4 will get skipped. Now run 5 will have a buffer, again it will start 2 minutes 30 seconds. That's what I'm saying here is run 6 will get skipped. This is how they are mentioning here. Okay, the what happens, right? If the task graph exceeds the explicit schedule time in the root task, at least one run of the task graph is skipped. At least one run. Okay, that's what I mentioned here is if it exceeds time, one run will be skipped. Okay, if run 3 is taking more time, run 4 will get skipped. Guys, got it right? Yeah, this is what they're mentioning here is if you need the overlapping feature, make this parameter true. While creating task, you have to give this parameter allowing overlap execution equal to true. Now, in your mind, it's getting popping out, right? Like, why we want to use overlapping feature? Why you want to use overlapping feature? What is the advantage of overlapping feature? Why you want to go for that? Okay, if you want to read the data frequently, okay, for example, you have one table called customer table, and run 1, you have to read the data from the table. Run 2 also going to do the same. Okay, concurrently going to read. Whether I want to wait for the task 3 to complete, I want to run in a concurrent way. Run 1, run 2, run 3, and 4, I want to run in a concurrent way. Whether I want to wait for run 1 to complete the entire process, because I'm going to do only read operation in the table. For read operation, I want to wait the entire T1, T2, T3 should get completed.
No, sir.
Guys, I'm asking a question to you. I'm having one customer table. From customer table, I want to read the data in a concurrent way. Concurrent way means parallel way I want to read. For I want to run 5 runs, I want to run concurrently. Run 1, run 2, run 3, run 4, run 5. By default, what will happen, right? If run 1 is completed, then run 2 will trigger. But if I mention this parameter, allow overlapping execution, what will happen, right? Overlapping feature will be enabled. Concurrently, you can able to read the data from the table, as well as I can able to read or write SQL operations. Okay, execute by overlapping runs, because there's no depend, right? I want to read only data from the table. Whether I want to wait for this run 1 to complete,
No, sir.
Sendamid and Arif, whether I want to wait for this run 1 to
No,
get
sir.
completed, no,
No, sir.
because I want
No, sir.
I going to get read and write SQL operations. But there's no dependency between that things. Okay, that's what then you have to use a overlapping feature. If you use overlapping feature, right, what you can save your time as well as you can reduce the cost as well. Okay, this is what you can do. And then yeah, the owner should have the enter privileges. If you are making the overlapping feature, the owner only should have the privileges. The remaining roles will not have any privileges to give us access. And then one thing you have to keep in mind, guys, and keep on saying, if you are using user managed warehouse, you will go to the queue state, then task will get triggered. If you are using Snowflake managed task, no need to wait in the queue state. At a particular time, it will trigger. That's the difference between user managed stage and Snowflake stage. Okay, Snowflake user stage, user
Serverless.
managed. What it is? It
Serverless.
is a serverless. Yeah, serverless. Serverless. No, it won't wait for queue state. Directly will trigger the task. But user managed task, it will go to the queue state, then only trigger the task. That's the difference. Okay, guys. And then one thing again saying, whenever you are scheduling to the root task, choose the appropriate warehouse size. Go for the X large. Okay, it depends on the workloads. You have to choose the warehouse size. If it is serverless, nothing to worry about it. Just you have to initialize X small, and then as per the ETL workloads, it will change. That's called serverless computers. Okay. Now we're going to see few things. Okay, like how to better align with the task graph with the schedule defined as root task. Okay. First point, if feasible, increase the scheduling time between the root of task runs. What they're saying is, whenever you are choosing some schedule, choose some higher lag time. Don't go for lower lag time. If you go for lower lag time, right, what happens? One task will overlap by another task. That's what they're saying. Increase the schedule time between the run of the root task. Now, or if you're saying that I'm choosing 2 minutes, because of that, run to got skipped up. Can I keep 4 minutes? Can I keep 4 minutes? If I keep
Sir.
4 minutes, run to will skip or will trigger.
Trigger, sir.
It will trigger, sir.
It will trigger. Sujita Priya,
Yes, sir.
if I keep 2 minutes, the total execution time will take 2 minutes 30 seconds. That's why run to got skipped. If I keep 3 minutes, what will happen? Run to will trigger or skip.
Sir.
It will trigger or skip. If I keep 3 minutes.
Skip.
See, I am keeping the schedule as 2 minutes for my root task. Total time taken for task 1, task 2, task 3 is nearly 2 minutes 30 seconds. That's why run to got skipped up. Run to has to trigger every 2 minutes, but it itself will taking 2 minutes 30 seconds. That's why it got skipped up. Now, if I make 3 minutes, run to will skip or trigger.
Well, skip, sir.
This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, I want to discuss much on this. If feasible, increase the scheduling time between the run of root task. Okay, what they're saying is just they want to increase the schedule time. Okay, if you increase schedule time, what will happen, right? Between the schedule time, every child task will complete the work, then next run will trigger. Okay, second one is modify the compute heavy task, use serverless computers. What is saying is, if a GTL workload is very somewhat complex, or if you what you have to do, right, I can go for serverless compute resources. If it is user managed, what you should do, right, you have to increase size of warehouse. That will run a larger complex SQL statements or store process the task graph. Okay, because manually I have to do. Okay, because we can't know like what the data is going to come on which workloads you want to change the warehouse size. Manually I have to change if it's user managed computers. If it's serverless, everything taken by Snowflake. Okay, in serverless there won't be any queue state. That will trigger. Third one is analyze the SQL statements and store procedures execute each task. Okay, just see the SQL statements. If there's no dependent between one child task to another child task, run in a concurrent way. Run in concurrent way means once the root task triggered, you can trigger all child tasks. You can put after of root, after of root, after of root like that. You can put. You can trigger in a concurrent way. Okay, that's what I'm saying is. That's what the saying is. Unlike statements, store procedures, execute each task. If there's no dependent between one child task to another child task, trigger in a concurrent way, parallel way. Okay, then it will go take its performance. And then if you need overlapping feature, or if
Allow overlapping execution, sir.
this is to go
Equal to
while
true.
creating task, right? You have to give statement. Okay, good. Now I'm going to discuss few things. How to suspend and resume the task in task graph. If you want to suspend the task graph, Satish, what's the command? Alter task, task name,
Suspense.
suspend. That's it. For resume the task, alter task name, alter task name, resume. That's it.
Resume.
This is how you can able to resume it. Now, what they're saying is, if you are suspending the root task, under the root task, you have very simple child task. Okay, if you are suspending the root task, all future scheduled runs of the root task are cancelled. Now, Sandhu will ask a question. Sir, you are suspending the root task. Okay, you are saying that all future scheduled runs will be cancelled. Before suspending, if any of the root task got triggered, what will happen to that? Okay, what happened, right? That run will be still running, but future scheduled runs will be cancelled. So, got it? Before suspending, if any of the root task got triggered, right? Got triggered again, and then you are suspending. What happens? That current triggered task won't be suspended. It will run as it is. The future runs, next scheduled runs will be cancelled. Okay. Second point, how to resume and suspending a child task. Okay, to resume or suspend a child task, first what you have to do, Sadesh, you have to suspend the root task. If you want to modify the changes in the child task, or you modify, want to change some store procedures, or want to change some SQL queries, first thing what you have to do, you have to suspend the
Root root task, sir.
root task. First to suspend the root task, then do all the changes in child task, and then resume the root task. Okay, that's what the saying it is. Now, if you are doing any changes, just first thing what you have to do, suspend the root task, do all the changes, and then resume the suspend child task if not required to resume the root task. Okay, what is saying is, if required, suspend the root task. Otherwise, what you can do, straight away can go to suspend the root task, and then do all changes and then resume it. That's it. Got it right? Now, recursive resume task. Recursive resume task in the sense like you can have one system function, or if system dollar of task dependent enable. Now, I have one child task. Under child task, I have many child tasks. Okay. What I am doing is I want to recursively. Recursive means what are the child task it has, right? I want to resume the entire task should resume. Okay. You can use the system function. I'll show here. You can use system function to resume all the child tasks. Seeing right? Select systems task depends enable, give the database name, schema name, and give the task name. Okay, it will enable all the things. That's what the saying here is. Okay, now the last one I'm going to show, task graph versioning. Task graph versioning is nothing but I'm creating a task graph. Okay, after creating task graph, I'm resuming the task graph. It will move to suspend state to active state, or you can manually execute it. Okay, now what happens, right? The Snowflake will maintain the task version. Now I'm modifying some changes in my child task or root task. Again, I resume it, right? It will change the version as 1. Again, you're modifying as root task or child task. If you're resuming, right, version will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. It's going to have the n number of versions for the task graph. Now, someone will ask a question to me. Okay, I modified some changes. Now it's version 1. Okay, now my task got triggered. Now my task got triggered. Suddenly I want to suspend my root task. I want to modify some changes. What happens if it's already that schedule is triggered, right? It will take the current version. What are the changes you made, right? It won't take that version. For next schedule, it will take the version what you have changed. Got it? That's what the task graph versioning is. It's very important feature, guys. Task graph versioning. Okay, for every changes in the SQL or any statements or changing some schedules or changing some warehouses, it will go into many versions. The current run won't be affected. Okay, if your modify changes, the current run won't be affected. Next scheduled runs will be work as per the version changes. Good. Now, I want to discuss these two parameters, guys. Now, how to automatically suspend task graph after failed task runs, or if you have to enable this parameter. Suspend task after number of failures. If you enable this parameter, right, if number of failures happen in the SQL queries, we are trying to load some data, doing some manipulations, insertion, deletions, anything, some errors happen, right? If number of errors exceeded, I'm giving 5. If number of errors exceed more than 5, automatically what will happen? Suspend the task graph. I'm giving 5. After 5, what will happen? Anyone?
Suspend the task.
Task
Sir,
graph, that's it.
automatically suspend task.
Automatically suspend the task graph. What parameter you have to enable it?
Suspend task after
Suspend task.
failures.
Number of failures. Number of failures, you have to give some parameter. Okay, but you should give greater than 0. Greater than 0. Now, you have a question. I have 10 childs. 8th child, I am getting some errors. I am running first time, I am getting error number 1. Second run, I am getting error number 2 in child number 8. Error number 3 in child number 8. Error number 4, child number 8. Error number 5, child number 8. Okay, what happens? It automatically suspends the root task. Or you've got it? Run 1, child 8 got errors. Run 2, child 8 got errors. Run 3, child 8 got errors. Run 4, child 8 got errors. Run 5, child 8 got errors. Totally 5 errors exceeded. I given number as 5. What happens? The child task will automatically suspend the which task? Root task. Because of root, if you suspend, right, the remaining child task won't trigger for the further schedules. That's why it's automatically suspend the things. Next one is automated retry failed task graph runs. If you given this parameter equal to 3, okay, if any failure happens, failed state happens, it will retry how many times? If I given 3, how many times it will retry?
3 times.
3 times.
3 times. Okay, mostly this feature is disabled by default. If you want to enable it, you have to give this parameter and make it somewhat more than 0 you have to give. Greater than 0 you have to give. Then that much number of retry means it will retry the failures. Okay, retry. Now, yeah, the last one, guys, I will do one thing, guys. I will stop here itself. We will discuss 2 more pointers tomorrow. And now we're going to see some demo. It's very important, guys. We're going to create some task graph. We're going to see some real-time scenario now. Because if I doing a theory part, right, you guys will feel very bored. Okay, you'll get somewhat frustrated. Now, directly we'll jump into the demo session. The last 2 pointers we'll discuss tomorrow. Now, just go to my Notepad++. This is a table I created. Now, Sendamal is owning one bookshop. Okay, around 200 employees are working in the bookshop. He's a owner. Sendamal is the owner of the bookstore. Now we have the tables called books, book ID, title, author, genre, price, publication date, and then he's having one more customer information having. Some people right, like Arif, he is fond of reading books. So he is a regular customer. He want to know all this customer information as well. Customers will be the customer ID will be there. First name, last name, email, phone, address will be there. This is a one dimension table. Books is another dimension table. Only books information will be available in the dimension table. Customer information will be available in the customer dimension table. Now, now Sendamal want to understand how much sales will happen. What's the quantity sold per day? What's the total price? Okay, what's the sale date? Which customer has bought the books? What's the book id? What is sale id? Every information will be captured in the sales dimension table. Okay, now what happening, right? I'm creating the relationship between one table with another table. Anand, I'm creating relationship one table with another table. Now you can see the sales table. I'm using foreign key. Foreign key relationship. Foreign key, which column? Sorry, which table? Sorry, one second, guys. Yeah. Foreign key, which column, guys? Book id. Book id. References in books table, I'm putting book id. Now what happened, right? This table and this table will having a foreign key relationship. Now I'm taking this book id and this book id. Okay, and having a foreign key relationship. Okay, if you drop these records, right, if in book table, if you are changing the value, what happens? Automatically you'll get the null value here. Okay, because this book id and this book id is mapped by using the foreign key relationship. Okay, now next one is customer id. Customer id is having the foreign key relationship with which table? Customers table. Foreign key, take this customer id and give references and take customer table and customer id. If any changes happen, right, it will return null value here. Okay, both having the relationship. Okay, good. Now these are the details we have, guys. Whether need any inputs, any doubts you have in the detail?
Clear.
The sales will be having the foreign relationship. Okay, just go and refer what is foreign key. Okay, foreign relationship this table has. Sujita Priya, it's okay, good.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if we delete that sales table, we can able to delete directly, sir.
Cascade, you have to use cascade. You have to use one keyword called cascade. You have to use. Only you can drop the both things. Okay, because we have the foreign relationship with this table, right? You can't able to
Yes.
delete. Okay, you have to use one cascade. Okay, we'll see that part later. That's not the agenda as of now. Just we'll create the 3 details as of now. Guys, make it mute. Just go to your snow site, and then what you do, right? I will create a new worksheet, SQL worksheet. Yeah, now just to give some name, task underscore something 3. Just to choose a database name, AWS DB, AWS schema. Okay, just create the details. I'm going to create a single shot. Okay, now it's 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. 3 tables got created. Now you can see the informations. Okay, good. Now what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to insert some dummy records. Now we're going to insert some dummy records, guys. Just have these records. Okay, now we'll query the table. Okay, I'm getting back-to-back calls, guys. Got distracted. Select star from books. Yeah, you can see 3 records, right? And the customer table also you can have 3 records. Yeah, sorry, 2 records. Guys, look at the data. Okay, we're going to write some few queries. Okay, good. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm going to give one scenario to guys. Okay, I'm going to give you one scenario. You have to compute the results based on the SQL query. We have books table, customer table, order table, right? What we can do? Yeah, I want to find the sum of quantity and sum of total price from sales table. Can anyone help me? I want to find the sum of quantity and sum of total price. I want to find sum of quantity, sum of total price. Guys, can you help me in the SQL queries?
Select
Select. Yeah, go ahead. Select.
sum of
I need sale date. Okay. And display column, I
sale
need
date.
sale date. Okay,
Okay,
and
sir.
then
Sale date, sum of
sum of,
quantity,
guys, I'm getting external noise. More quantity
sum of total price.
as sum of quantity, right? Yeah, I'll make it total books sold. Okay. Because Sandam is a owner. Come on. And then
Sum
Arif,
of sum of
sum of
total price, sir. Total price.
sum of total price, sum of quantity written total price. Yeah, good. And then give some alias name. Satish, you have to answer for this as total sales amount. And then
From sales
from sales table.
sales table,
And then I want to use which keyword?
group by
Group by which keyword I have to do the group by?
sales date, sale date.
Sale date. Say not sales date, sale date. Satish should not opening the mouth because he don't know the query. There's a problem here. Got it right? Based on doing group by and get total books sold as 1. What is the total sales amount? For one book, how much sales
10,
amount?
10.99.
99. Okay. On date, which date? 24?
16
0601.
first.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
24, 610. I'm getting one book sold 8.99 price. On 24, 68, 2 books were sold. 15.98. Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Now we are finding the total books sold as well as total sales amount. Okay. Now what we're going to do is just in the books table, I want to just see the data. Okay. Select star from books. Select star from books. Now, if you look at the data, you can see book ID, title, author, genre, price, and then publication date. You can able to see. But what I'm going to do is stock quantity. I want to have one more additional column called stock quantity. Now, anyone, if I want to add one more new column, what statement I want to apply here? In the books table, I want to add an additional column. What is the statement we have to use? Anyone? It's very simple, guys. In the existing table, we have to add one more column. What is the statement we have to use?
Quantity.
I know it's a book stock quantity. What's the statement I'm asking? What statement we have to use for adding an
Insert.
additional column? Come again. Come again.
Update.
I'm saying that we have to add additional new column. New column I want to add here. What is the statement we have to use?
Table.
Alter table. That's it. Alter. Satish. Alter table. You have to add a new column. Okay. You have to add a table. Table name. Table name is books. Add column. And then give the column name as stock quantity. Books. Stock quantity. And then I want to add the data type. This is a column name actually. The data type is going to int, and then the default value for all the records I'm going to give. Going to give 100 for every record. I'll get 100. Okay. Now just add the statement. Satish, without knowing the alter table statement, you are working in the SQL part. This is a way you can add to the table. Now the statement is successfully. Now again you can able to query the books. Without knowing these things, you working on the stored procedures. Select star from books. Now you can able to see additional column called stock quantity. We have 1,000 stocks. We have 1,000 out of 1,000 stocks. What happened, right? The price for each quantity will be 10.99. Each quantity will be 7.99, and each quantity will be 8.99. Okay, totally we have stocks of 100 quantity. Good. Now everything is clear, guys. What we're going to do is we'll do one thing. We'll create a task because I written some transformation, some aggregation transformation I written here. For this, I want to create a task. The task should be scheduled. Okay, at particular time, what will happen, right? This task will get triggered. Okay, because today we're going to create a task graph. Okay, for task graph, we have to create first the root task we have to create. Now, can anyone say what a command we have to create a root task? What is the command? Anyone? For creating a root task, what is the command? Create or replace. Who will say replace? Replace. And then task. Provide the task name. I'm going to give something like aggregate. It's because of getting some aggregation, right? Aggregate daily sales. Daily sales I'm aggregating. Just give the name, task name as aggregate daily sales. And then now what I have to do is I have to use an attribute called warehouse. What's warehouse name? What's warehouse name? Because the user manage. Command WH. Suita Priya, try to create many warehouses. Okay, this is a default warehouse. We should not use this one. You create some custom warehouses and increase the capacity for the warehouses.
Okay, sir.
As of now, I'm going to default warehouses. We should create a new warehouses. I created a separate session for you guys, but till now you're not able to create an individual warehouse for you guys for your projects. This is a default one, but you have to create your own warehouses. Computer underscore WH. I think it's not yeah, compute underscore WH. And then what we can do, next one is we have scheduled, right? Root task, we have to schedule it. We have to use one parameter, schedule parameter. And then I want to use a cron. What can I use here? Anyone? I want schedule using cron. Send them out, open your mouth and say the answer. For schedule, what we have to use here? I want this cron button. Schedule equal to?
Me, sir.
Schedule equal to?
1
Schedule
minute,
equal
2
to,
minutes.
I'm asking, I want this cron. What values I want to place here? Schedule equal to using cron.
Using cron.
This is what I'm expecting from you, but you're not opening your mouth and saying the answer. Using cron, and then what I'm going to do is I want to trigger yeah, I want to trigger every 2 minutes. Okay, the remaining things you can make it 1, 2, 3, 4, and make it 5, and then UTC time. What is UTC stands for, Sujita Priya? What is UTC stands for? Anyone? What is UTC stands for? Guys, I'm asking you
Unit of,
what UTC stands for? UTC.
unit of time.
Come again. What is UTC stands for? Satish, Sujita Priya, what is UTC stands for?
It's a universal time.
You just googling and say the answer. It's a universal time coordinates. Universal time coordinates.
For
Now what happened, right? Just you have to schedule the cron timer for 2 minutes. You can give asterisk divided by 2, or you can give like this. Okay. If you don't have, you don't know how to use a cron, just go and refer the cron guru website and learn how to schedule the using cron patterns. Good. Now everything is fine. I'm just going to create here. Just going to create here. I'm just going to create here one task. Before that, what are the aggregate results I'm getting, right? I want to put in a table. I want to put in a table. Can you help me how to get a table? For this aggregate results, I want to put in a table. What command I can use here? Very simple. Yeah, that's it. Create or replace. CTAS. Create or replace. Table. Just to make table with daily sales. And then create or replace table, daily sales, and then use alias. Use alias as, put as, that's it. Okay, and then give a query. Now we can be able to create a task. Now what happens, right? I'm making a blunder mistake here. What the mistake I'm doing is, just say want to use. See, I'm not able to create a task. What mistake I'm doing here? Syntax error, unexpected create. What I have to use here? Anyone? Semicolon. If I use semicolon, this will be to a single line. You're saying semicolon, right? This is how you create a task, right? Satish,
it's a time.
you have to use as. You have to use as. This way you can able to create a task. Now the task got created. It will be still in the husband state. You can see here, it will be husband state. Show task. Now you can able to see aggregate daily sales is our it's our task name. Now if you look at here, right, it is husband state. Okay, you can say definition what are creating, right? It comes under definition. There is no precedence because this is a root task. It has not having any precedence. Okay, good. Now what are we going to do is we're going to create the various child task followed by root task. Okay, just make a child task we're going to create. Before that, we're going to write some SQL transformations. Okay, now what I'm going to do is Okay, I'll give one different scenario to guys. Okay. Um, what we can do? Okay, just we'll go to the. Okay, where we have total quantity, just we'll go here and see the records first. Okay, now we have the stock quantity we have, right? We have stock quantity. How much stock quantity we have, guys? How many stock quantity we have? Stock quantity. I'm asking how many stock
100,
quantity we
100,
have.
100,
100
100,
stock
sir.
quantity we have. Suida Priya, we have 100 stock quantity. Now what we have to do is just I want to subtract with total quantity. Subtract with stock quantity minus total quantity. Okay, this is how I have stock as of now. What I have in my bookstore. Okay, what total I have, and then what stock I have. If I subtract, then I'll know this much of stock is still remaining. Okay, that the thing I want to compare. Okay, where I can able to find the total quantity, guys. Where I can able to find total quantity. Where I can able to find total quantity. Where I can find total quantity. I'm asking you. You're not opening the
Sir,
mouth.
total.
Wait. If I already something right, Satish will dying to say that answer. He won't think. If I'm already somewhere, he will say that that is the answer. He won't think that's a right or wrong. Okay, good. Now, what we're going to do? Can we give it a different try on this? Okay, we'll do one thing. First, we'll find a total quantity. Just it's somewhat difficult, guys. We'll give it a try. We will take books first. Select store from books. Just this is the result we got, right? Now what I going to do? I going to use the left join. Okay. I going to do the left join. Okay. Before doing left join, I want to write one piece of SQL query, guys. Now I want to find the total quantity from the sales table. First, I'll select star from sales. Sales will only I know the total quantity, right? Chandaval? Sales will only I know the total quantity, right? I have a quantity. If I add all these things, what I will get? In sales will we have quantity. If I add all these things, what I'll get?
Number
In
of books
sales table,
available.
I have a quantity. If I add all these things, what I'll get? The total
Total number of books.
number of quantity. Who said total number of books? Total number of quantity will get. Now, can you give a query for me? I want to find total quantity from sales table. Can you give a query for me?
Select
Select.
sum of
Select. I need a book ID. Okay, because book ID only are going to put the joins. I need a book ID, and then
sum of
sum of Satish not opening the mouth. Sum of
quantity
quantity, and then
from
as gives
sales
some alias.
as
Give alias as total quantity, and then and then
group by
group by correct. Group by
ID.
Group by
Book ID. Book ID.
book ID, because I'm using book ID here, right? You can use group by. Send them. You're getting confused. Which one you have
No,
to
sir,
do
no.
group by? You're putting a display column
No,
book ID, but you have to do book ID here, right?
sir, I said the book ID.
Yeah. Now you can get the results for book ID 1. You will get the 1 point. Okay, why are not getting sum of? Just 1 second, guys. Yeah, it's getting sum up only for each book ID. Yeah, because they have group ID only booking, right? 1 it's going to 1, and 2 it's 2, and 3 it's going to 1. Good. Okay, everything done. Now what I going to do is just I going to put the left join, guys. Guys, listen carefully. Left join. What is mean by left join, Satish? What is mean by left join? What is mean by left join, Satish?
Sir,
When to
values in the left table.
come again? Values in the
Sir, values in the left table only will be left table. The matching table with the left and right will be matched, sir, and the total and the other
what
values
about
of the left
what
table.
about right table? Which are not
Sir,
matched?
matching it won't be displayed, sir.
This conference will now be recorded.
Now, guys, you have to put the left join. Okay, I'm taking the books table, and what are the results I'm computing, right? I'm going to put the left join. You might have a question, you have to give only table name. Why are you giving like this? You can try like this also, but I'm going to give the on condition here. Okay, I'm going to give the join key here. Okay, just give the on condition, and then I will provide the join keys over there. This is the table. Now this will entirely treat as table, and then I'm going to give the join keys. Okay, now I'm going to give the namers for this table. We have books table, right? What are the results we are computing here? I'm going to make it's yes, it's another table name. Now, how many tables are there? How many tables are there? Books, we have one table, and then what's another table name? See, I'm selecting from books, left join. I'm considering this as a somewhat view. Okay, it's not table, it's like a view. Yes. Now, how many tables are there? Books as well as
2.
books as well as
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
yes. I'm keeping the yes. Okay, just you give the on condition, and then based on books table, what we have, guys. Just I'm querying for you. Books table we have book ID, right? Books table we have book ID. Yes. What we have in yes view? What we have? We have what we have? Yes.
Book ID.
Book ID.
Book ID. Then books also we have book ID. Yes, also we have book ID. Sales table also sales table we have book ID. Okay, yes. Now what we can do, right? Yes dot book ID
Yes, sir. Book ID.
equal to what you can do, right? You can make the books as B. Use some alias. Okay, alias. Now B dot
D dot book ID.
Book ID.
book ID. Book ID. Everything good. Now what I'm going to do is just we're going to run this query. Yeah, now I get in the left table. Okay, I get in the left table, and whichever is not matched, I'm going to get a null. Okay, that's everything is good. Now, my what's my agenda? My agenda is stock quantity we have, and then we know total quantity. We have to subtract. Then only we know how many stock are left. For book ID 1, how many stock are left? For book ID 1, how many stock is left?
100.
Hey, useless man!
What?
A book
One.
ID, I'm
One,
asking
sir.
the stock ID and total quantity. You have to subtract it.
99.
100 minus 1. It's 99.
99.
For book ID 2, what's the remaining stock
98.
98. For book 83, what's the remaining stock?
99.
99. This is where you have to find it. This one kind of aggregation. Send them and listen carefully when I was speaking with somebody. What's the expectation? What they're asking to you? Just think twice or thrice, then you can answer. Okay, but I'm asking it is a remaining stocks. Just in the display column, you can put all things. Just guys, we're in display column. What are the parameters you're looking for? I need book ID. Book ID, what's the alias name? You can take from B, right? We can take from B. I need book ID. I need title. I need title. I need author. I need author. And then I need what I need? Author, and then genre, and then anyone? I need price, and then
Publication.
Publication date.
and then
Stock
Start
quantity.
point.
I need the remaining stock. Okay, what I have to do? I need the remaining stock.
Sir, stock quantity minus total cost.
Stock quantity minus
Total quantity.
minus
Total.
what's alias? What's alias? You guys not opening the mouth. That's a problem here.
B dot total quantity.
Hey man, you are not thinking thinking in your mind. What is the C? I'm getting total quantity as giving a yes. You're saying it's B. How it's possible, man? I'm finding total quantity as giving the alias as a yes, but you're saying it's a B. How it's possible?
Okay, sir.
Could you please guys think twice or thrice? Just make it yes. Yes dot. Yes dot. Total quantity. Now what I'm going to do, right? In total quantity, sometimes I will get sometimes what I will get, right? I will get 0 as well. Okay, I'll get 0. I'll get 0, and then I'll get null as well. Sometimes I can get null values. Okay, 0 means fine. Okay, 100 minus 0, 100. If I get null values, how to handle this thing? 100 minus null, what's the answer? 100 minus null, what's the answer?
Null, sir.
Null only. Now how to handle this? I'm saying to you guys, total quantity, sometimes I get a null value. 0, it's fine. Okay, 100 minus 0, it's going to be 0. Okay, if I get null value, how to handle this? What is the transformation you have to use here? For total quantity, I already took all these things one by one. But you're not, now guys, Sandamul and Satish totally not able to remember all the things. What's that? If you're getting null values, what I have to use?
Police.
Coalesce, that's it. We have to use coalesce. We have to use coalesce function. We have to use, and then you have to make it yes dot total quant, right? If you're getting null values, what will happen, right? And total quantity get null values, automatically we have to put it will take the second argument value. Okay, if you're getting null value here, total quantity column, it will get the 0 value. Now it won't throw any exception while running. If you get null value, it gets 0. That's it. If it's not getting null value, it will take this total quantity value. Sudhita Priya, total quantity, if you're getting some values, it will take the value. If you're getting some null value, it will take the value as
0.
0. That's it. That's use of coalesce. That's use of coalesce. Good. This is what I'm expecting, guys. And then keep some alias name. as remaining stock. Okay, good. Now this is a query written. Just try to execute all these things. It's a remaining, right? It's a remaining stock. Okay, now how many stocks we got? Book ID 1, 99 stocks. For book ID 2, how many stocks?
98.
98.
98 stocks we got. Okay, and then book ID 3, we got 99 stocks. Now for this, we have to create some task. Can anyone help me how to create a task for this? So it's a child task. Or do we create some root task, right? The root task name is aggregate daily sales. This is a root task. Now, can you help me how to create child task for this? Anyone? Give the
Output.
command. Give the command. To create a child task, what's the command we have to use, guys?
Create or replace.
That's it. Create or replace. And then create or replace task. And then give some name. It's going to update inventory. I'm updating, right? This is the inventory, right? I'm finding remaining stocks. It's update inventory. And then just what I have to do, I want to use the one argument called warehouse argument. Definitely for running child task also you need warehouse because it's a user managed. It's user managed. Command underscore WH. Good. Now one second, guys. Command underscore WH. Then you have to say
Schedule.
why we use schedule. Who said schedule? Who said schedule?
Sorry.
I want to know. Who said schedule? Then what's the root task is doing? The root task only have to use a schedule. Now what we have to use here? Yesterday I taught so many things
Sir,
for
after.
child test. After command, that's it. After which one is it has to run? After
Sir, aggregate.
aggregate LC. That's it. After my root task, it has to trigger. And then I'm missing one more thing. What's that one? After aggregate states, what's the another one? As. And then what are the results you're computing, right? I want to put in a table. What's the command for that? Or if what are the results I'm computing, right? In display column, I want to put in a table using CTAS. Using CTAS. CTAS means create or creator.
Create or replace
Replace table. Just to give the table name
table
inventory. And then
as.
as that's it. Now everything is good, guys. Now we can able to get child task. It's followed by root task. Just run it. Now we created the update inventory. Now what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to create one more child task. Child number 2. Child number 2. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is what we can do for this child 2. Let's I'll see the data. Then only it will strike into mind. Okay, we have books, we have customers, we have sales, right? Okay, good. Okay, guys, keep in mind, I need a sale date first name, last name, title, quantity, and total price. Satish as well as Sandam, I'm saying to you, note on the terms. I need a sale date, first name, last name, title, quantity, and total price. I need all these values from which table I want to refer. Take take 1 minute of time. Just look at the data. I need sale date, first name, last name, title, quantity, total price. Okay. Which table I want to put some joins and then I want to get the data. You have to say this is a books table, customer table, and sales table. Without thinking, don't give answers. I need all the attributes: sale date, first name, last name, title, quantity, total price.
Sir,
Can you
customers
go
and
ahead?
sales table, sir.
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
Sir,
As per the Arif said, right? Just we'll take select star from what is it? I need which table you have to use?
sir,
Arif,
we want
Customer,
to
customer
customer. You're saying about customer, right? Yeah,
and
you can
sales
take
table, sir.
customer. Yeah, sales table. Sales table you can take, and then keep the alias yes, and then we are going to put the inner joint. Okay, put the inner joint, and then you can use customer tables, and then give some name, C, and give some condition, on condition, and then yes dot. In both the tables, what's the joint key? Someone said right. Books table, customer table. Now which one is the joint key here? Books table, sorry, sales table, right? Sorry, I made a blunder mistake. Not books table, customer and sales table, right? Customer and sales table. Which one is the joint key?
Sir, customer ID, sir.
Customer ID joint key. Okay, customer ID is the joint key. Equal to, now you can make C dot customer ID. Okay, C dot customer ID, and then if I join right, uh, just see the results. Display column. I need sale date. I need sale date. Sale date is there or not? Sale date is there. First name is not there. First name is there. Last name is there. And then title is there. Title, where is the title? I am not getting any title here, right? And then I need quantity. Quantity is also not there. And then total price also not there. Now which table we have to join?
book, sir.
Books. That's it. Again you put some inner join. Again, Satish is not opening the mouth. He don't know the answer. That's why. Join books. Make the books B, and then give the on condition. Now which table we have to, now which joint you have to use? Which joint we have to use, guys? Which joint you have to use? For book table we have book ID, right? For book tables we have book ID. Here also we have book ID, right? Now B dot book ID equal to equal to equal to, I'm asking, equal to, what's the alias I have to keep here? B dot book ID equal to, anyone? Customer table we have book ID. C dot book ID.
C dot book ID.
C dot book ID. Okay. Okay. Hey, no, guys. I think this table is not having book ID.
Sir, sales table is having book ID, sir.
So, yeah, sales are only having book ID. Okay. Name blindly given, but this Satish is not opening the mouth. Sales dot book ID. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have some display columns, guys. Display columns, what we're going to give is I need sales table. I got the sale date, right? Sale date, and then first name I got from the customer table. First name, customer table I got last name, and then books table I got the title, right? Yeah, books table I got the title, book title, and then sales table I got the quantity, and then sales table I got total price. Whether I got total price or what? No, yeah, total price I got. Okay, good. From sales table, and then putting on join conditions, and then okay, everything is good. Just run this query. Simple query. Even 600% students are using this queries nowadays. Now everything is good. Okay, total price, and then yeah, getting right. Now what I going to do, right? I going to order by sale date. Okay, though it's ascending order, but anyhow, if you are handling millions of records, right, then you have to order by ascending order, guys. Then you can have one more order by class, order by sale date. Yes, dot sale date, and then sale date, and then sale date. Okay, I'll take this one, guys. Order by sale date, and first name and last name. First name and customer first name, and then customer last name. That's it. What happened? Oh, I may miss the dot. Customer first name, customer dot last name. Got it right? Yeah, I got the same thing as alone, like 10.99, 15.98, 9.88. Now I want to create a table for this. Okay, can you help me? Based on the results, I want to create a table. What statement I have to use?
Create table as
CTAS. Just say CTAS. Create or replace
replace
table. Just give some name as sales report. Sales report, and then give as. That's it. Now what we can do, right? We can able to create a table. Now like Sridhar Priya, can you see the command for creating a task?
Create or replace task.
Create a replace task, and then just give some name.
Task name.
Generate sales report. Generate sales report, and then give some warehouse name. This is one of the parameter you have to give. Warehouse equal to compute underscore wh, and then what we have to give, and then we have to give is a task graph. What command we have to use here?
After
Command. I want to run a sequential fashion, and after what I will give? After what I have to give? I want to give update inventory, or aggregate daily sales.
update
Update inventory, because I want to run in a sequential fashion. After child one completed, child should trigger. Okay. So you can give after update inventory, and then you have to use one as. Good. Now you can able to create a task number 3. That's it. Just run it. Now everything is good. If you want to see all your tasks, what you can do? Show task. Okay, you can able to see aggregate daily sales, generate sales report, update inventory. Now, can you see the state? What state it is? The procedures I have scheduled. Which pattern? The procedures
but
I have scheduled using which pattern?
cron pattern.
cron pattern.
Cron pattern. It's cron pattern. Okay, the remaining things not scheduled. Okay, because every child task is dependent on the root task. If child root task is triggered, right, child one will trigger. After that, subsequently child two task will trigger. Okay, now you can say state. What state it is?
Suspended.
Suspended.
Suspended state. Now what you have to do, right? You have to resume all the root task as well as child task. Okay, now what I'm going to do is in a single shot I'm going to do. Just you can use, want to resume it. What's the command? Alter task, and then you can put the task name, whichever task is going to resume, right? That task you're going to put. What's the task name? Aggregate daily sales. And then resume, right? It's resume. And then what's the another task, child task we have? Just change the child task name alone. Okay, guys, this is generate sales report. Aggregate daily sales. Okay, how many aggregate sales are there? Oh my god. Yeah, it's update inventory, right? It's update inventory. Yeah, now what I am doing is in a single shot, I'm going to resume all these three: root task and tool child task. Unable to update graph with the root task since the root task is not suspended. Okay. First, what you have to do, right? First, you have to resume this one root task. Yeah, now it's resume, and then you can do the child tasks. Okay, one second, guys. We have to follow one pattern. Sendamer, we have to follow one pattern. Okay, first, what we have to do, right? First, what we have to do, you have to keep in mind while working the task graph, make the root task suspended first. Now go in the descending order. Now child 2 is in the last, right? First resume it. Or if you have to go in the descending order, this is a child 2, child 1. The aggregate daily sales is a root task. Now first you have to resume this one. Now it's resumed, right? And then resume this one. Now the two child tasks got resumed. Now what we have to do? What we have to do?
Resume
We have to
root.
resume
Root
the
task.
root
Root
task.
task.
Okay, you have to follow this fashion. Okay, just don't resume the root task first. Otherwise, then you can't able to resume the child task. Now I am resuming the root task now. Now everything is resumed. Now in the meantime, what we can do, right? It will take 2 minutes of time, right? In the meantime, we will go to some places they called databases. We'll go over there, and then we'll go to AWS DB, and then we'll go to schemas. What schema I used, guys? What schema I used? Anyone know? I used which schema? Public schema
Public
or radar
schema.
schema? Public schema I used. Still, you guys are kind of getting confused, right? Let's see what schema I used. AWS schema. Someone said public. It's AWS schema. Just go to here and AWS DB and go to schemas. AWS schemas, and then you can have the tasks. You can see the three tasks got generated. Which one is the root task here? Which one is the root task here?
Aggregated daily sets.
Daily sales, because the hourly mates doing that on scheduled. Now let's go here, and then you can see the graph. You can see the DAG, right? You can see the DAG, direct acyclic graph. You can able to see. It's visible for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
visible, right? Yeah, it's visible. You can able to see the graph. This is how we can able to follow the chains. Okay, you might have question. Can I give giving after command after of update daily sales, after of update inventory? Can I give for this child test to after update daily sales? Yeah, I can give. If you give after of update daily sales, what will happen, right? It will run concurrently. Or if I'm saying to you, instead of after you have to give aggregate daily sales for the child task 2, what happened, right? This tag will come here. This two child tasks will trigger concurrently. Got it? Yeah. And then you can see the run history as well. If you want to see the run history in the snow site, you can see here. Now it's still scheduled. It's waiting for 2 minutes, guys. After 2 minutes, it will trigger. Okay. I use the time called UTC. What happened? Yeah, it's still scheduled one. Okay. Good. Now this is the way you can able to see. Okay, the I'm came here to show the DAX, how the DAX got created. You can trigger in a concurrent way, you can trigger in a sequential way. Now, Sendham will go into answer. If I want to trigger in a concurrent way, just I will go the projects again. Just go to task 3. If I want to trigger in a concurrent way, in task 3, right? We'll go to the task child. Yeah. In after, what I have to give here? Instead of update inventory, what I have to give here? You want to trigger
Aggregated.
concurrently.
That task
Aggregated
main task root task name.
root
Aggregated
task daily
daily
sales. Daily sales we
daily
have to give.
sets.
Okay, you have to trigger concurrent way. Then you can see the DAX in a concurrent way. Okay, one of the root tasks is triggered. Concurrently, two child tasks will trigger. Okay, this is the use of power of after command. Now, what we can do, guys, just we'll see the tables. Okay, what are the results got generated or not? Just go to the sales report. Just try to query this table. Okay, good. Select star from sales report. If you get the results, everything is good. No, why it's okay. What happened, guys? Select star from that table is sales underscore report, right? Sales underscore report. Okay, I think the table is not get created yet. I think we have to check the schedule only. We will do one thing, guys. Okay, just we'll take this table as well. Update inventory table. Just we'll go to this table. What's the table name? Inventory table, right? And then query this table whether it got any records or not. This is how the chain task will work. No, the table got not get created yet. Okay, I think we have to go to the databases and then go to the AWS and then go to schemas and then AWS schemas and then go to task and then just see whether it's triggered or not. I think it's not triggered yet. I think it's not triggered yet. Guys, give me a minute. Okay, someone is calling me.
This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, see here. I made one blunder mistake, guys. In offline, I just debug this issue. What I did is the cron we are setting for 2 minutes, you have to give asterisk divided by 2. What happens, right? Every 2 minutes will trigger. Every 2 minutes will trigger. Okay, that's a mistake I did. What thing you have to do is, whenever you are updating something, right, first you have to suspend your root task. Suspend your root task. Suspend your root task, and then suspend your subsequent child task as well. Okay, now everything is suspended. Now just go here, guys. Go here, and then just go to that root task. Where's the root task? Yeah, just change the cron as asterisk divided by 2, and then just create or replace. Now I'm replaced. Good. Just come here. Now what you have to do, right? First you have to resume your child task. The lower task you have to resume it. Then only you have to resume your root task. Resume it, and then resume it. After resuming, what you have to do, right? Just you have to go to database, and then go to AWS DB, schemas, AWS schema, and then go to task. You can see aggregate daily sales. You can see the graph. Okay, you can see the graph here. Okay, and then you can see the task details. You can see the task definitions, and then you can see schedule. Schedule should come like this. Okay, now you can go to the run history. Okay, what happens, right? It got succeeded. It took 1.5 seconds. Now what we can do is just go here, guys. Again, go to projects, go to a project, and go to task 3, and then just query those 2 tables. Child tables you created, right? The child tables we have to, not child tables, sorry guys, we get 2 tables. One is sales report table. Okay, this is child to task table. Now we are getting the results, right? We're getting sale date, first name, last name, title, quantity, total price. You're getting now. It's the child one task table. Just is inventory. Now you can see, right, we're getting, right, around what are getting here. So we are getting some remaining stocks are getting 99, 98, and 99. Now what I'm going to do, right, in any one of the table I'm going to do the update. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add one new record, and then going to update one new record. Okay, good. Just do one thing, guys. In the books table, what I'm going to do is the books table, right? Books table, just copy as it is, put comma, and then make it 64. Give Sendamal name, Sendamal, Satish. I'm getting some external noise, guys. I'm keep on saying to you. And then 9.99 and change some date. Okay, just make it 9 something. Okay, just what you have to do, right? Just what you can do. Yeah, take this insert statement and add one insert statement. That's it. Good. Now what I'm going to do is just I'm going to insert this value, and then from the customer table, right? Customer table. No, in sales table I'm going to give the update. Okay. Can you say update statement? Anyone? Update statement. Very simple. Update. Update.
Table.
Sales table I'm going to update.
Sales table. Sales.
Sales table. Sales, and then not sales. Sales. And then
Set.
Set. I want to update the total price. Set total price equal to 12.33. Where, that is a filter. Where book ID equal to 3. Hey, you guys don't know the update statement, Satish? Set total price 12.3 where book ID equal to 3. Okay, that's it. Now just do the insert. We're making a blunder mistake here. In the books column, we add one more column, right? What's the column name? Anyone? In books column, we added one more additional column. What's the column name? Sendamal. What's the column name?
Stock quantity.
Stock quantity, but you're not able to answer. It's book quantity. And then I'm going to give the book quantity 200. Now just in a single shot, you update all the things, okay? Just insert and update, that's it. Yeah, now everything done, guys. One update happened, one insert happened. Okay, if you want to see the table, you can able to see. Okay, I can able to see the tables. After 2 minutes, you can go to that downstream tables. Select star from source table. This is a source table. Books. Books, right? Good. You can see record, right? Book ID 101. Book ID. Where is it?
Updated record, sir.
Yeah.
Sendamil Satish.
Shandamal Satish. Okay, I mean everything you're getting, right? Good. Now next one is I want to see sales table where total price is 12.33. Just doing updating. Got it, right? Book ID 3 is got updated 12.33. Now after 2 minutes, guys, what we have to do is just we go on to see that two tables. One is inventory table. Yeah, it's got updated. You can see, right? The remaining stock, how many stock we have? 200 we have, right? 200 stock. How many stocks is given there? 200 stocks. I don't know what's the reason it's going 200 again. Okay, let's see sales report. Yeah, it's already updated. And then 12.33, right? Yeah, you can see, right? Chandamal,
Yes, sir.
it's got updated. Okay, in the inventory table, what happens there, right? We given 200. We'll check the query. We'll go here and see the query. Okay, stock quantity is somewhat I given. Okay, just we'll run this query, guys, and we can know what's the results. Yeah. Okay, I will do one thing. Okay, what I will do, I will do just I'll copy this query and remove all these columns. Then we can able to understand. As of now, just remove it. Yeah, like stock quantity we have, right? Stock quantity, and then quantity 1, 2, 3 we have, right? See, 200 minus null. We use police, right? 200 minus null are getting. We use police. Police of null, what will give? The default value, what will give? Police of null?
0.
0. That's why we are getting 200. Okay. Though you are getting null value here, guys, That's why 200 minus null value, it's replaced 0. 200 minus 0. 200 minus 0.
200, sir.
200.
200. That's it. Its result is correct. Who said 400? It's 200. 200 minus 0, 200. Okay. Now everything is perfect, guys. This is how you can able to chain task. Last I'm going to show one thing, guys. I want to show the DAX again. This is AWS DB and then AWS schemas, and then I'm going to stages. Sorry, I'm going to task, and then I want to show that take any task. You can able to see the graph. It's a task graph. You can say it's a direct asset graph. Okay, now you can see run histories. Now you can see the run histories, right? All got succeeded. Every 2 minutes got triggered. Now what you have to do, guys, after completing the session, what you have to do? After
Sir,
completing all
suspend task.
sessions, you have to suspend the root task. Suspend root task is more than enough. Okay, no need to suspend all tasks, because the root task, if you suspend it, right, child task won't trigger. Just suspend the root task. That's it. It won't incur any additional cost. Okay, if you're suspending. Good. I'm going to close session right now.